Mewtwo is a defensive glass cannon character with very strong zoning neutral, powerful combos, exceptional speed and aerial mobility, an incredible recovery, one of the most powerful projectiles in the game, and the ability to kill in a multitude of ways. He does, however, have his weaknesses. He's the second lightest character in the game and a huge vulnerable target. He also suffers at close range combat, as well as he has one of the slowest double jumps in the game, meaning that many 50-50s and jab mix-ups are extremely hard for Mewtwo to deal with. Mewtwo has one of the fastest walk and dash speed in the game. He can wall jump and combine it with back air, confusion, teleport, B reverses or wave bounces to mix up the way he gets back to stage. Mewtwo has kind of a poor regular get up attack, and roll, as they're slow and vulnerable, and so usually Mewtwo will opt for ledge jump and double jump as it's his most flexible options. Out of a ledge jump you can time a neutral air, forward air, air dodge, which will allow for a ton of mix-ups. Or a ledge jump, double jump neutral B to quickly land. And so it's important to always cover Mewtwo's ledge jump. For Mewtwo to play around this, he can release the ledge and double jump back in with air dodge with a mix-up to try punishing the opponent preemptively covering ledge jump. Except for this, Mewtwo has a crazy amount of options to get back to stage. However, all of these are technically punishable. He has the second worst traction in the game after Luigi, making it hard for him to find anything out of shield, especially since they're all slow, being grab, up smash, jab, down tilt, neutral air, and forward air. The only quick option is footstool out of shield, which only works if they space too close to your shield or try crossing up. He has 3 different hitboxes on his tail. The tip, which is the weakest, the middle, and the base, which is the strongest. Only about half of his tail has a hurt box, meaning he extends his hurt box slightly every time he uses his tail, making him a bit more vulnerable to disjoints. Mewtwo has the best air dodge in the game, coming out at frame 2, the only thing faster being bat within. It also has the shortest amount of end lag. His air dodge is a strength and a weakness, as it's basically his only real escape option out of combos. Forward air might work sometimes, but it only covers his front. Another reason why it's so good is because he can drift wherever he wants during the air dodge, meaning the opponent has to predict where he will go most of the time, and his double jump is possibly the slowest option, making it even punishable on a reaction. On the other hand, the double jump provides the most amount of height out of any double jump. This is why getting out of jab mix-ups is really hard for Mewtwo, as forward air might not even come out. Most characters with normal double jumps have the ability of using their double jump to bait out grounded punishes to find an opening. This is something that Mewtwo can't really do, as it would only put him in a significant disadvantage. He can use confusion to bait, but it's a much bigger commitment. On the other hand, Mewtwo can cancel his double jump animation with a special move. This can be used to shorten the distance of the double jump as you get back to stage, after a combo finisher to double jump back and land quickly. During disadvantage stage, you can double jump back and charge to quickly land while also zoning yourself back. If you use a special move at the very apex of the jump, it will actually increase the height of the double jump even more, allowing you to potentially charge a Shadow Ball off stage before recovering. During the charge, Mewtwo loses all his momentum. However, he can air dodge at any time to gain back his momentum, meaning he can actually B-reverse or wave bounce, allowing him to mix up his landing even more, as well as it can be buffered during a short hop to keep the opponent on their toes and even condition opponents, as you can use a ton of different options out of air dodge. dodge, at the same time as you can cross up shields with it. However, this is risky and should mostly be used defensively. Short hopping with an air dodge can also be used instead of shield dash to punish landings, in which case you'll be punishing a whiff instead of finding a punish out of shield. Another important movement is his C-bounce, which is used to bait options and as a landing mix-up. To perform this optimally and consistently, it is recommended that you set a shoulder button to special, and it is required that you set the C-stick to attack. C-bounce is performed by running, tilting the C-stick to the opposite direction, and within 2 frames charge the Shadow Ball. Mewtwo's neutral is heavily fundamental and zoning based, thriving off intimidation and conditioning. It primarily consists of down tilt, dash attack, grab, neutral air, forward air, and shadow ball. With down tilt being his main priority, he is able to put forth quick and safe pressure, stuffing out grounded approaches and keeping them outside at a certain distance so he can effectively wall out his opponent. By combining down tilt with shadow ball, he forces the opponent into finding ways to maneuver around his wall, conditioning jumps that can be stuffed out with forward air, neutral air, or catching a landing with down tilt or shadow ball itself. Since down tilt and shadow ball needs to be respected and played around carefully, it can also condition forth shields in general. And even more so, he can condition shields with quick dash attacks, immediate forward airs, neutral airs, or surprise options out of air dodge, leaving the opponent open to get a grab and tossed off stage for a powerful edge guard, or finish them off with his up throw. The more complicated and technical part of Mewtwo is his advantage stage. Forward air is one of his best tools in a neutral. It deals high damage, shield damage, and is an amazing combo finisher. It's safe against shield if landed and spaced, or if it's short hopped, buffered, and spaced. You can also double jump with a second forward air to punish the opponent for acting too soon. However, it's a hard commitment as Mewtwo will now need to somehow land. It's an excellent edgeguarding tool as it's really good at punishing air dodge on reaction. In order for the forward air to combo optimally, you'll want to space towards the opponent, which is risky since this can be shield grabbed and punished. Hitting it while spacing yourself back can simply be DI'd away and nothing will combo. Connecting forward air between 0 to 15% can lead into a grab, jab, dash attack, down tilt, and up smash. From about 10 to 45% forward air can combo into itself, and from 10 to 30% forward air connects to neutral air. Back air is pretty slow and unsafe. It can be short hopped, buffered, and double jumped out of. It's mostly used as an edge guarding tool, as it covers a larger area than forward air, and can also combo into itself. Up air is mainly used as an anti-air and combo extender. It can also be short hopped, buffered, and double jumped out of. It's generally unsafe against shield, unless you cross up, making it a tiny bit safer in certain matchups. Landing with a cross up air can be a good combo starter. Down air is a strong meteor and can be relatively good against 2 frames. You can short hop, buffer the down air, and it'll auto cancel. You can full hop and buffer a down air as a mix-up. However, it's mostly punishable. It can be used as a combo starter after a disable, a reset, or shield break. Footstool to down air works against these 11 characters, and will usually combo as well. If you slightly space yourself back during the down air, they will always get launched in front of Mewtwo. Otherwise, some characters will get launched behind instead. In fact, down air can actually be a very situational combo extender at around 20 to 50%. There's a neat little ledge trapping trick with down air, as you can short hop forwards and try punishing opponents stalling. Then later on, once you start short hopping towards opponents like this, it'll condition them into choosing an option quickly, which can be countered by a C-bounce Shadow Ball, making it a bit of a 50-50. Neutral air is one of the most complex aerials in the game, as there are many different ways of using it. It consists of 9 hits, the first 8 dealing about 1% and the last hit launching the opponent for 4% either to the left if they are on the left side, or to the right if they are on the right side. There are 3 main ways of comboing with neutral air: short hop neutral air into fast fall, or full hop neutral air, and then a few other rare scenarios that I'll be going through. To start off, full hop neutral air will mostly be seen after a down tilt, and the combos have already been showcased. You can of course start with a raw full hop neutral air, however it's much more reliable after down tilt. There are 2 main ways of sending an opponent in front, by drifting it completely backwards, and the second method is to start by full hopping towards the opponent, drifting it backwards, and then drift it forward just before the last hit connects, to get better momentum to connect combos. Or if you want to send them behind you, you can instead drift it forwards. You can full hop, buffer a neutral air, and then land with an aerial, grab, or C-bounce. Short hop neutral air is rather simple and works the same way depending on how you drift it. At low percentage, it'll combo into dash attack or grab. At mid percentage, it will start comboing into forward air or up air. And at higher percentage, it will only launch opponents into a bad spot. Then we have short hop neutral air with a fastball to have the opponent pop out either behind or in front. There are a few ways to increase the chance of them popping out in front. First one is starting a neutral air in front of them while drifting it backwards and fastballing it. This allows you to get a down tilt, grab, or footstool, which is important for getting the disable combo. To pull this off, press jump, and jump again to footstool, then jump immediately a 3rd time while pressing down B. Some characters you have to double jump backwards for it to connect. If you approach with neutral air, you can release the analog stick to stop drifting as soon as the aerial starts, to stop midway and then fastball to increase the chance at getting them in front a bit more, which will usually only connect to down tilt or grab. However, it's important to just get really used to using neutral air to a point where you can predict and react to where they will pop out, as you can always turn around and combo anyway. Doing it with minimal drift or no drift at all makes it inconsistent in where they will pop out. The other scenarios are either using double jump neutral air, which can connect to forward air or back air at mid to high percents. However, it's unreliable as the opponent can either pop out or SDI out. Another scenario is connecting only either the last hit or the 2 last hits, which are really rewarding but extremely risky as you can get punished before you even get to approach. The hand hitboxes drag opponents inwards, and the feet hitboxes sends them upwards. This means you can down tilt footstool into the first hit of neutral air, Pop him upwards and keep this up. This is obviously easier on tiny characters, but it can still work against larger opponents. Connecting with only the first hit of neutral air will pop them upwards, which can combo into forward air, neutral air, up smash, or footstool. This can be set up after a footstool down air, if you can connect a second footstool. If you connect with at least 2 hits, you'll drag opponents down diagonally and you can connect either down tilt, up tilt, grab, or footstool. Neutral air in general can be pretty unsafe depending on how you use it, but by mixing in cross-ups, which are pretty safe, and also faking out the fact that you're going to be crossing it up, landing with different timing, doing it out of air dodge with different drifts, and so on will just make it really hard to punish, as it can only be punished against shield if you immediately try punishing the last hitting move that Mewtwo chooses to land with. Except for all this, neutral air is also amazing off stage, as it can drag opponents trying to recover and gimp them. Jab is very situational and is mostly used as a quick punish in front to mainly get the grab. Jab to down tilt could work. However, at the percentage where down tilt would normally combo, it can be shielded. It can also lead into an up tilt, which if connected correctly can lead into an up smash kill confirm at a very specific percent. It works against the majority of the cast. The ones that are highlighted in yellow require the up tilt to be slightly delayed for the correct hitbox to connect. Another risky mix-up is jab to up smash, which can potentially work against heavies and floaties at high percentage. Up tilt is mostly used as an anti-air. There's a specific soft hitbox at frame 8 that launches perfectly into another up tilt or up smash. As a mix-up, you might be able to get a jab, grab, or down tilt. You can connect neutral air, up tilt to up smash as a kill confirm at specific high percents against the majority of the cast. Forward tilt is rather unsafe on shield, slow, and has no combo or kill potential, and so it's rarely used in combination with a pivot to potentially get an opponent off. It resets opponents till about 25%. It's also the only grounded move that hits all characters hanging at the ledge. Down tilt is Mewtwo's main priority to find in the neutral as it's his best combo starter. It's unsafe at close range, but becomes safer the further away you space it. However, the tip of the move has a much lower combo potential than the base, since you can DI away from minimal damage or completely escape the follow-up. And so you want to actually find the perfect spacing to hit the middle of the tail, where it's relatively safe and provides a strong advantage if it hits. Even if the move is extremely fast, it shouldn't be spammed mindlessly, unless you actually want to punish spot dodges and rolls in, since it can still be punished if they shield dash in, or jump with a quick aerial to jump over the second down tilt and punish Mewtwo. It can also be punished with a disjoint. It's an extremely good move against cornered opponents, and so it's a great ledge pressure tool against regular get up to shield, since if they try punishing, spot dodging, or rolling in, they will most likely get hit by the second down tilt, or punish a roll with an up smash or any other option. Jumps out of shield can simply be punished with forward air, neutral air, or shadow ball. The combo potential is highest at 0 to approximately 50%. At a higher percentage, only up air and back air connects reliably. dash attack has very little combo potential and no real kill potential. If you connect with a very late hit, you might be able to get a forward air at specific percents. And it lasts long enough to potentially punish spot dodges. Forward smash has a sour spot and a sweet spot, and is mostly used for hard reads. Down smash comes out a bit slower than forward smash, but has much less end lag, making it relatively safe on shield at max range, and so it's a potential option in the neutral. Up smash is Mewtwo's fastest smash attack that can be used as a very risky anti-air, or as a high commitment against short hops. It can miss small characters as well as they can air dodge through it and still be safe. It's mostly used, however, as an out of shield option to punish opponents close to you or straight above you. Shadow Ball is one of the strongest projectiles in the game, dealing a lot of damage and shield damage. Uncharged Shadow Balls can potentially be used to add pressure and simply condition a shield. They can also be used to reset the opponent. The charge can be cancelled with a shield, grab, roll, spot dodge, or shield to jump, which means it can also be cancelled into an up smash. Aerial charge can only be cancelled with an air dodge or by simply throwing it. An uncharged or half-charged Shadow Ball can be used offstage to frame trap opponents by forcing an air dodge and punishing it with either forward air or down air. It's an amazing whiff punisher and is encouraged to be thrown whenever for potent damage and scoring kills. The strongest use of a fully charged Shadow Ball is to checkmate a landing after the opponent double jumps out of a combo, or after a throw, or during a ledge trap situation, as it can pretty much cover every single option, including hanging opponents if thrown at around roll distance. As a mix-up, you can press shield and jump cancel a teleport to either hit the opponent, ledge trump, or force an option and throw a Shadow Ball. Disable is mostly used for punishing laggy or predictable moves to give yourself even more time for a hard punish. It's only effective if the opponent is grounded and looking at you, as it's useless against aerial opponents. It's active for 7 frames, and so it can potentially be used to punish regular getup if you don't have a Shadow Ball charged. It can also punish ledge rolls and ledge attacks. Other than that, this move doesn't have much use unless you combine it with a footstool setup. Teleport provides intangibility at frame 9 to 17. Recovering from above either diagonally or straight down will remove the 2 frame, making it even safer. Teleport can also be ledge cancelled in a few ways. It all comes down to where the initial teleport is positioned. Here are some examples. You can stand at the edge of a platform, short hop and quickly teleport down, or delay the teleport slightly and do it diagonally. Or diagonally down from the top platform. If you are turned around and stand relatively close to the edge, you can teleport down. Careful you don't stand at the very edge though. You can stand in the middle of a platform, full hop, and teleport down. Slide off a platform and teleport down. You can run off, double jump, and quickly teleport diagonally. There are other ways of doing this, of course, like ledge jumping, using confusion, double jumping, and teleporting diagonally. This is really important to learn, as you can use his teleport cancels for landing mix-ups, combo extensions, to confuse and mix up his aggression. Confusion is Mewtwo's command grab and reflector, the reflector being way longer than the actual animation. Mewtwo gains height for the first confusion he uses, however not for the second one. The second confusion can still be utilized as a B-reverse or as a rare landing option. You can release the ledge, immediately use confusion to counter a shield, and then double jump with an aggressive option. Since it's a grab, it counts towards the grab timer, meaning you can't do it twice in a row. The opponent will have approximately 5 to 6 frames where he can act before Mewtwo can do anything, and so they can always either attack, double jump, air dodge, or tech. Same goes for aerial confusion, only difference being Mewtwo's positioning, being able to respond with a quick up air or forward air. This can still be air dodged or double jumped out of. It'll also send these opponents onto platforms and force a tech situation. Mewtwo has throws that deal really good damage, but no real combo potential. You'll always want to DI the direction Mewtwo is facing, which is the optimal DI at any time Mewtwo throws you, except against forward throw, which can be SDI'd upwards to minimize the damage you take. Back throw and forward throw is mainly used for dealing damage and sending opponents off stage. He has the strongest up throw in the game, and his down throw can be a bit tricky to deal with. At low percentage, it's usually better to use forward throw, as down throw isn't really great for damage and stage positioning, but more of a rock, paper, scissors situation. Air dodging is usually always a bad choice, since it can be hard punished, and so it's mostly about just double jumping out, attacking with something quick, or teching. Other than that, down throw is mainly used to launch opponents onto platforms and force a tech situation. If you want to decide what character should be next in the series, make sure to check out the link below to vote. I've also launched some new awesome merch for you guys, like t-shirts and mugs, that will be available till the 9th of February, so go get one while you can to support this channel. You can also get some controllers. If you want these, you can contact me on Twitter, Discord, or by email. Thank you. Credit goes to Chrysler, Madros, Death Horse, Rich Brown, Player Unknown, Wadi, Zone, Metalix, Jackson, Surprise, Killer Jaws, Saint Second, and DMG Burgers.